Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Sigma Traits. Let's jump into it.
She believed the intersectional feminist girl boss lie, and how's that working out for you?
Does anyone else just work their ass off for like the last 3 or 4 years for like a college degree, and now you have a job that you hate and you still can't afford life and you're still miserable and you can't pay any of your bills and you can't live in the house that you imagine and you just feel lied to?
Oh, you almost had it. You're gonna be quicker than that.
You thought that if you just went to college and got a degree, you'd be able to afford a house and like things that make you happy, but yet you're still barely can afford groceries or clothes or literally anything that makes you happy at all. And you had to spend the whole entire weekend in your bed because you literally don't have any money to go do anything other, like if you buy food, you just can't have an entertainment budget. So I'm just wondering if anyone else is dealing with something like this or if it's just me, because
I think there are plenty of other strong and independent women who are also dealing with the exact same thing. And you know what, guys? More and more of these videos are coming out now where you have these womanists who, they want the career, okay? They want to go out there, do their own thing, everything that a man can do. But when push comes to shove, they don't want to keep working. This is what women's liberation fought for, the ability to go out there, join the workforce, and work until you pass. But for some reason, guys, the modern women just are not really happy with the way that womanism has lied to them.
this ain't it.
Gotcha, bitch.
At 27, a hardworking, honest man cannot even compete with the attention that you can get from the volume of men on social media. However, fast forward 20 years, at 47, you would give a limb to have an honest, hardworking man who dedicated his life to you instead of the volume of men who would give you momentary attention.
When a woman says no, men no longer look back or ask why. My friends and I often use a common phrase when discussing this. A man has better things to do in this demanding world than to sob over a woman who doesn't want him. It has become a trend, and women are beginning to notice that men no longer waste time pleading for acceptance. As one friend put it, "Why should I have to beg a woman to accept me when I am the one who will ultimately be responsible for her?"
Do you notice that men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it. Yeah, because, honey, if he wanted to play games, he'd go over to his niece and nephew's house, maybe go play fetch with his dog at the dog park, I don't know, play on his fucking PlayStation. Anything is better than playing around with whatever kind of woman this mindset comes out of. Thank you. No lies were told today.
Guys, there was a big push a while ago, right, where no means no. We have the Me Poo movement came out, okay, believe all women. And men got the message loud and clear. Women will oftentimes say that we don't listen to things, that we're incapable of understanding consent. But men are very capable of understanding. We are very capable of listening. And so when women came around and said no means no, men said, okay, fine. I'm not going to pursue you. If you say anything other than a yes, I'm going to leave you alone. Hell, a lot of guys aren't interacting with women at all these days, guys, right? But when women say no, it means no. This is exactly what the women wanted. I don't feel any empathy. I don't feel any sympathy for them. Okay, you wanted men to stop pursuing you when you said no, and you got exactly what you wanted. Also, this woman right here absolutely terrifies me. Yelling on every single video. We have neck tattoos. I don't know what is going on here, but it always concerns me when you have incredibly masculine women who are out here taking the side of men. I never really believe these videos. They seem a little bit disingenuous to me. Let's continue.
All right, woman says, do you notice that men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it, with a little frustrated emoji. And guy replies, top comment, If I want to play games, I got a PlayStation. Oh, that's great. Well done from this guy. Yeah, you know what, man? If a girl's not interested, don't bother. Do your own thing. Focus on your own goals, your own purpose, or your PlayStation. There are better things to do than try to chase women these days. And ladies out there, a lot of guys are also worried about the whole Me Too movement, false allegations, and being labeled a creep. Women throw around the word creep for men so often these days that if a girl says no, yeah, leave her alone. Bye.
I cheated.
Yeah, see, before we get into the next clip, dudes don't want to catch a court case, okay? Women kind of think, oh, men should approach me simply just because, right? But the problem is, if you're a dude and you're approaching women these days, guys, I mean, don't be surprised if you catch a court case at some point, or if you lose a bunch of friends, or if you get labeled as the creepy dude at the gym, something like this. Okay, there is very little upside, and there is a lot of risk for men going out here and approaching women. So when they say no means no, guys, I think a lot of guys really took that, they listened to it, and they said, fine, no more, enough's enough. But let's jump into this one.
I cheated on my ex.
Yeah, I hurt him a lot because I'm also his first girlfriend and everything.
What was it that made you want to cheat on him?
I always wanted to like self-destruct, self-sabotage, but he was like best boyfriend. He treated me right. I don't know what happened, and that's my biggest regret.
Since our separation, I've been with someone who is better in bed. So
let's talk about this for a second. Okay, this is the story of a lot of men's lives right here. You can come along, you can be a great guy, you can be a fantastic listener, you can give the girl everything that she ever wanted, but you'll get cheated on, right? This is what happens to a lot of guys, particularly men who have their first girlfriends or their first long-term relationship or whatever. They go out here and they give it their all, and then the woman cheats on him because she has a bunch of options. Guys, when I bring up things like Instagram on this channel, or I start talking about the options that women have, it's no joke, okay? Dudes have very, very little options. Women have an absolute metric ton of it. Now, that doesn't mean that they can get relationships from all of the guys. That's a different question. But there is a very large power imbalance. And, you know, women want to keep their options open all the time when they're in these relationships. And then eventually they end up cheating, right? It is what it is. She said here that she cheated because, I don't know, self-sabotaging or some nonsense. Let me translate it here, guys. She cheated because she wanted to get with another dude. It's as simple as that. I think guys need to not invest in women like this. They are a complete waste of space. They are a waste of effort by the men, to be honest.
I don't know what happened, and that's my biggest regret.
since our separation, I've been with someone who is better in bed. So Jen, after the breakup, there was someone else who was even better.
When we broke up, I was with someone that just gave me everything in the short amount of time that for 8 years I couldn't even feel with him.
I thought I gave my all because that's all I knew.
We're like almost 30 now. Like we should have like a family and kids. Or I mean, like it's considered of me to have family and kids.
We don't care.
We don't care.
There's no way. This woman is sitting here saying that she regrets cheating on this guy, and now that she's 30, she feels like she should have kids and she should have a family coming along. I mean, whose fault is that, really? Like, let's think about that for a second. This woman wants to say, oh, well, I regret it and I want kids and this and that. Too bad. You had your chance. Okay, this guy probably has some money as well, probably quite stable, it seems like. I mean, women don't really regret this crap unless they have something to lose. And usually the thing they care about in this situation is money. So, you know, she wants to come back now. She wants to have that stable family life. And let me tell you something, guys, okay? Anytime you take a cheater back, let me just make this clear, they will cheat on you again. They feel sorry, but they don't actually feel sorry for you, right? They're just sad that they missed out on, you know, the money or the life that they could have had. They don't actually care about the dude that they cheated on. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. Let's continue.
How much of the household income do you want to be contributing?
Like money-wise?
Yeah. You want him to be the sole breadwinner, correct?
Yes.
You think you'll be able to get that, correct?
Yes.
How many men do you think can go out into the dating marketplace and want to provide zero financially and expect to get a partner?
I don't know.
very, very few. The vast majority of women, as a lot of the women here answered, I want a guy who makes at least as much as me or more. Or I want a guy to be the sole provider. So could it be the case that the reason that there's a patriarchy and that men occupy the highest positions of power and the most desirable jobs and make the most money is because there's a mating pressure on men that does not exist in women?
Yeah, see, when you give explanations like this that make sense, they don't care. They stopped listening about 2 seconds into your explanation. This is why I don't really, I can't watch these talk shows and things like this, because you're talking to a brick wall at the end of the day. There is not a single intelligence point between these individuals, aside from the hosts, typically. Complete waste of time. Yeah, guys, there is a pressure on dudes to provide. Right? And if you're a guy and you want to come out here and say, I offer nothing, where are all the beautiful women? People are going to look at you like you're stupid. Okay? But when the women offer absolutely nothing, they still demand absolutely everything. And this is why they end up 40 years of age, single with a whole bunch of cats. And I get to make fun of them on these videos. Okay? Is because they're completely and utterly delusional. Women have this real problem where they think that they can get commitment from a dude, even though they can't. Right? Oh, I got his attention for a weekend, or we had lots of bedroom fun over the months. And I'll sit here, guys, and I'll look at this and I'll say, okay, where's your ring? And they don't have a ring. They don't have a long-term relationship. And you're pushing like 30, you're pushing 40. And she's sitting here talking about how she deserves 6 figures and a guy who's tall. You're disgusting. Like, get the hell. No guy is making 6 figures and who's a tall fellow wants to deal with you. He's disgusted. Let's continue on to the next clip.
No means no. If I go up to a girl and I ask her, hey, let's meet up sometime, or hey, let's go out, and she doesn't say yes, she says anything but a yes, then it's a no. And as a man, you move on. But the reality is, as a man, you only pursue those that want to be pursued. Okay? You will only go out with those who actually want your time and attention. Back in the day, men would apply pressure, but you know why? It's because you would get rewarded. You took a girl out several times and you guaranteed your spot in her life. That's how it was. You know, essentially your provision was landing you the girl. All you had to do was go through some dates, and if you liked her, she was yours. Now that's not the case anymore. A girl, you could go out with her as many times as you want, and she doesn't have to give you nothing in return. In fact, she doesn't ever have to do nothing for you. So that's the reality of what dating looks like for a man in 2023. So,
yeah, see, here's the way I look at it as well, guys. Is like, women will try and get you to take them out on dates and things like this, but men really have absolutely no reason to take them out on dates. Like, you mean to tell me that a man has to take you out on a date and do all of this crap for you, but all of the men who you were super attracted to, they didn't have to take you out on a single date? It's like, you have to court me. You have to take me out on a date. You have to plan the date. You have to pay for the date. You have to provide for me. You have to care about me. You have to message me. You have to talk to me. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? You have to do a bunch of nonsense. But the man previous to you didn't have to do anything because he was attractive. You know, you start adding in these factors, and you're trying to tell men that they have to do all of these things. And dudes are just going to sit there and they're going to say, no, I'd rather just, you know, hop on my computer and play video games, or I'd rather play PlayStation or Xbox or whatever the hell people are playing. They would just rather go and do that. And guys, I don't blame dudes. I really don't. I don't blame dudes for saying, I don't want to deal with you. I would just rather be by myself and level up my character in whatever game I'm playing. Makes perfect sense to me.
I had an ex that did everything to pursue me. I am talking wine and dine, have these deep emotional moments with me. I mean, we would cry together. He would write these love letters to me. I mean, one day I remember saying I was sick, and maybe like 20 minutes later, there was a knock on my door, and my doorman came up, and he had delivered soup for me. Oh. And I think even a humidifier. This is so random. I was sick and like clean, like, a whole thing. Yeah, right. And this was like the norm for the first 2 years of our relationship, to the point where even his family and his friends were like, this is a changed man. We've never seen this version. So, and that fed my ego. that made me feel like, oh my gosh, like I've changed him. He's totally different. This is real. This is true. And then 2 years into the relationship, once the love experience, the in-love experience had ended, he was a completely different person. He was cold. Seeing this version, and that fed my ego. That made me feel like, oh my gosh, like I've changed him. He's totally different. This is real. This is true.
I guarantee you this guy just stopped putting in effort because he got treated like crap. There is only a certain amount of time that men can continue to invest in you when you have no gratitude and you're an awful person. Guys will quite literally just, go to the moon, go to such great lengths to make women happy, and all that they require in return is a little bit of gratitude and someone who's pleasant to be around, right? But these women don't offer that. That's why men stopped offering the chivalry, among other reasons, right? That's why dudes stopped doing all of these things. You want me to come over and fix your air conditioner? You want me to come over and hang up some shelf for you? I mean, that sounds nice, but no thank you. I actually have other things to do. And these women will be like sitting there in shock and horror as to why men don't want to do crap for them anymore. I mean, they don't even appreciate the guys. Women will try and play this card like, oh, he just switched up after 2 years. He just stopped giving me chivalry because he randomly fell out of love. No, you're masculine, you're annoying, your ego is massive, in your own words, and you have no gratitude. So he stopped doing all of the nice things for you. I'm surprised this dude even made it 2 years, to be honest, guys. I can't listen to women like this for an extended period of time. They're annoying. They sit here and they yell. Why would I want to spend time around them in the household? I couldn't imagine anything worse, guys, than spending time around this woman in the household.
This is often how women attempt to justify their situation after men have moved on. They quickly shift focus away from their own mistakes and instead emphasize the man's reaction to those mistakes. They might loudly complain about how the man grew distant and stopped showing affection, but they conveniently gloss over the role their own ego played in the situation. To a certain extent, I can shed light on the shift from a loving, attentive man to a distant one, ultimately leading to their breakup. Initially, this man showered her with love and treated her like royalty. His consistent display of affection was so remarkable that even his family and friends noticed and commended her for it. However, after 2 years of being loving, her ego took over. She likely stopped reciprocating his gestures, feeling entitled to his love.
I mean, I don't think these women give any gestures in the first place, to be quite honest with you, right? And there are so many dudes out here doing this crap, right? They're paying all the bills, they're taking these women out on dates, they get absolutely no thank you, they get no intimacy whatsoever, they're treated like garbage, and yet they continue to stay there. It's crazy to me how much dudes will let women just run all over them and completely and utterly disrespect them and then continue to stay in that relationship. It's like, what are these men doing? I have to roast the dudes at a certain point. It's like, where is the self-respect? Where is the actual care that you have for yourself? You'd rather sit here and pour all of this care into somebody who doesn't give a crap about you. But if I sit here and say, hey, listen, maybe you shouldn't do that, maybe you should care about yourself more, it's like they clam up and they'll just continue to do it for years on end. Really quite disgusting to me.
As a result, the man gradually withdrew his affection, feeling that it wasn't worth it anymore. He ceased expressing himself towards her as before, because the person he had showered with love had changed and no longer seemed deserving of such treatment. I find it perplexing when I see women become upset because a man they rejected decides to walk away. It's absurd. You pushed someone away, and now you're upset that he's gone. What do you expect men to do? One thing men should never do is cling to a place where they are not wanted. Such places are where they will stagnate. Move to where you are appreciated, kings. Women understand this well. They never stay where they are not wanted. It's a principle men should also apply, especially in matters concerning women.
See, I think women stay all the time where they're not wanted. Like, yeah, there's situations like this where they're completely, lying and making themselves the victim. But I mean, there are so many dudes who they don't want to date a woman, for example. They don't want to take her seriously, and women will continue to try and see that man and convince him for months, sometimes even years on end. Women are very much attracted to dudes who don't give a crap about them, right? Like they will continue to stay there. If the man is attractive enough, or if he has enough money, or a combination of the two, she will keep on trying for months and months on end. I mean, guys, we literally have a term for this nonsense. It's called situationship, and it's also called talking stage. Right? This is the bread and butter of modern women, going into situationships, having talking stages, you know, these things that shouldn't even exist in the first place. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. And guys, just a quick announcement as well. We also temporarily still have Fiend Gang applications open. So if this is something that interests you, make sure you get them in before we close them again. I don't know how long I'll be leaving them open for. The link is in the video description. But anyway, we're going to be leaving it there. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.